better than where we started. Good. So same thing, I just want to rub him when he's in the right spot, because hand on is meaning you're correct. Then when I want to reposition him, I just send him on. Good. And disengage those hind quarters. Send those shoulders. And I need to get him behind, because I want him to come up at a pretty good parallel angle here. So I need to get him behind me, so I could have gotten him even more behind me, because see how he's already tilted?
Yes.
Now if he blows through, I just say, okay, well, send again. There, that's more what I want. And then I kind of guide him up the fence. Now, every time I can reach out and touch, I will for each step. Touch.
It must take some practice because they like to swing their hind end out.
Yes. And they're doing that because they're a little uncomfortable. It's claustrophobic, actually, for him to kind of come up and squeeze against this fence with me this time. So, you just play with this until he gets so comfortable that he'll just track right up. He'll just hug this fence. When he blows through, you just send him. So if I feel like he's just stopped trying a bit, then I'll send him for a little while and not invite him up. So just push him out here. Yeah, so no, you can't come in. If I can get him to trot, that'd be great, because that looks like a little bit more work.
This part is tricky. I might need you to do this one. This
And
definitely looks tricky.
You can practice it on the mounting block still, you know, because it's the same thing. Yep, see, that's why you want to do this, because see how me being up here just scared him?
Mm-hmm.
I want him to not be at all afraid of me up here, because I'm going to be up here pretty soon on his back. Okay, so then when I'm ready to offer him another rest, good. See how he's already hugging the fence better? There, then he gets up to me and he's like, I can't stay on the fence, you're scaring me. That's fine. If he's so uncomfortable with this, that this is the best he can do right now, that's fine. I have to get a starting point where he realizes with me is the rest. Like with me is the comfort. So, I let him stand here and I just rub up on him. Good. When he gets more comfortable here, that head is going to go down. You know, now he's kind of standing here a little bit on guard, and it's fine. Good boy. Good. Okay, try that again. Gently send him off. So I'm going to send him a couple times. Not offering this time, I'm saying nope, keep going, because I want him to crave that little rest. Also, he'll just get more and more comfortable with me the more I keep moving up here, and he keeps walking by me and nothing happens. Good. Maybe now I'll offer it. Notice the release of pressure. Touch him, I do. Good. See how he's hugging the fence better? There. Each step, the reward. Good. And now I need a little bit better. Of a position. So that's pretty good. You know, that's really good for today. Tomorrow I'd want that a little bit closer to me, but that's pretty darn good. Good boy. And then and just really kind of standing with him here. The longer you stay here with him and let him rest, the more he's going to kind of marry to this spot. Good. And this is where I can start as he gets more and more locked to this spot and more comfortable. This is where I can start leaning over him. He can see me out of that right eye. You know, he might have to be a little bit closer for me to make that, but then I can swing a leg over and still be riding the fence and him at the same time. You know, that's what I mean by this will become my first ride. Because it's like the city slicker way to ride, because you're still on the fence should he move. But there, that's really nice. Looks a little more comfortable there.
Do you do it on both sides?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Usually I stay kind of on one side until it's pretty good.
Okay.
And then the other side, but you definitely want to be able to do it off of both sides for sure. Oh boy. And then when I'm ready to get down, here's where I kind of like to see if I can maybe back him off of it gently, so that he doesn't think he's just walking forward again, like I'm going to send him. And then, good boy. Really nice. Okay, perfect. So then, I wanted to show you the bridling cue. Okay, so I'm gonna start practicing this, where we're gonna get him ready for the bridle. So I'm just gonna take the rope essentially and put it in his mouth. So a couple different ways that you can do it. I find this to be the easiest for me, and just make a loop like this. And I'll just put it over his ears. First, make sure he doesn't care about this, you know. Then I want to be able to just touch his nose would not have him have an issue. So good. He needs to stay in this flexed position. Good. And he needs to not want to be leaving me or anything like that, or poking his nose up. Good. Okay, so then from there, I'm gonna cue my my button. So I'm just gonna move him over a little bit so that you can see. Okay, so he's a little flexed. I'm gonna go from this position here of me just having my hand here to then I'm just gonna put my thumb in the corner of his mouth. And the moment he opens, I just take everything off. Now, I don't spend necessarily a ton of time on this, especially with the horse that can have a tendency to be maybe a little bit mouthy, but I need to make sure.
I don't think he's mouthy though.
There, that me and that, see how he's already getting more touchy? So you don't want to spend too long here, but I've got to make sure that when I touch in that corner, he opens. Okay, so once I have that, then I'll go back to this here. So, gotta stay in that bent position. I want to be able to take him here, or here, or here, or here, wherever I want him. But a good place to practice, just kind of like halfway, right around here. So I'm going to take that rope, and I would spend a little more time at each at each time, kind of buzzing through this right now. But first, it's just with that rope, being able to touch and hold there. Then it would be putting my finger in that button, and once he opens his mouth, this hand's what pulls up the rope. Okay. And then if I can, just kind of stay here with him until he's not necessarily going to settle too much with his mouth, because he's like, oh, there's something in my mouth. But I just want to make sure that he's going to stand here with his head pretty flexed. Stay with me a bit. And if I find a moment where he kind of pauses a little bit, or gets a little more still, then I'll take it out then. But essentially, this is really nice because there's no danger of clanging the teeth accidentally if he hooks his head up or something. So I really like to start with this until I can bridle him with the rope like really well, because then the bit will probably go much smoother. Gotta stay in that flexion. So if he moves, and follow him. Good. And when I drop it out, he should let me kind of come back in here and touch and cue. Open there. I really want an opening that would be like big enough to get that bit in. There. Good boy. Good boy. So that's something you can play around with too, and that's nice because you can just do it in the barn or whatever. Good. Good boy. And then I would say start establishing that button. So with the hind quarter. So I might start by just kind of refreshing, like, okay, you're thinking hind quarter. All right. So now I'm going to take this stirrup and I'm going to start touching the hind quarter button. Now remember, you've got the 3 buttons. You've got the rib cage button, the shoulder button, and the hind quarter button. On a green horse, they're very far apart. So I want to take this stirrup and kind of press back as far as my leg will be able to go so that he distinctly will know the difference between hind quarter and rib cage. All right, so I'm going to press. If nothing happens, I'm going to just add my voice, and I tipped his head a little towards me, but he already knows to do the hind quarter when you walk into it. So I kind of just cue it as we normally do after he doesn't move off the button. So touch. Yeah. But I want a proper step. There. Then I take that stirrup off. So it's on until he gives the proper step. Now I also just want to make sure that he doesn't think me holding on to that stirrup and moving it means anything. So here's a little desensitizing. And when he moves, I just kind of be very nonchalant and I just follow him. And I don't try to stop him. I just kind of let him realize, like, you're not acknowledging you, like you're not getting anything from moving like this. I'm just gonna keep following until he realizes, like, oh, I don't really have to do that. And then I'll rub him. Good. Okay. So, button. Good. That was really nice. And the button is a very light button. So like I touch, and then if nothing's happening, I don't increase the button or anything. And then I just go to the other cue. So you're creating what your leg is going to be like when you ride him. So you don't want to have to be like, hind quarter, you know, just touch hind quarter. So that's what you're establishing here. Good. Okay. Touch. Proper step there, then off, and then I just want him to be able to stop with me still holding that stirrup. Good. Okay. Moving the stirrup means nothing. Pressing the button does. Yeah, that was really nice. That was great. And then I should be able to move the stirrup again, and nothing happens. Really good. And we'll transition that to the shoulder too, you know, but that's a good place to start there.